welcome. Thank you for allowing me to come into your home. And today I've got an exciting guest. The author's name is Robin Barnes. She is the author of Mirror of Reality. And she's here today to share just a little bit about it, because you got to buy the book. But she's going to give us a little bit of something about it. Robin, welcome.
Thank you very much, Rick, for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, listen, I'm so glad to have you. I'm so excited. And even though we talked a little bit briefly, I'm just excited to hear about Mirror of Reality. How did that title come up, Mirror of Reality?
Well, about 25 years ago, I was laying in a prison cell, and I just felt like my life was over. And somehow or another, God or a voice, a higher power, whatever people want to call it, came to me and told me to write a book. And I got a piece of paper out, and I started to jot down some stuff about my life. And then the words Mirror of Reality came to me. And I always had trouble looking in mirrors, because the person that I saw wasn't the person that I was. So that's how I got the name of the book.
Wow. That is awesome. Okay, so you were in jail for 25 years, or it was 25 years ago?
I was 25 years ago. I was in prison. I was facing 25 years to life.
Get out of here.
But, yes, in federal prison. But God didn't let that happen. He blessed me, and I ended up only serving 4 years.
We serve an awesome God, don't we? I'm telling you, we serve an awesome God. So
yes,
when somebody says yes, it means it's not yet. It's not, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell me about the book. So you got this revelation in the midnight hour to write this book. And so did you just right away did you just start jotting? You know, you get up and did you just start writing, or what did you do?
Well, I wrote 3 pages, and then I put it down, and I didn't pick it up anymore. And I just went on with my life, thinking, that was that, and just forgot about it. And 25 years later, I had hit rock bottom, and the words kept coming back to me, you got to write a book. And so I went to my father, who is now passed away just recently, and I told him, things that I was feeling, and he said, Robin, you need to write a book about your life. He said, you could help somebody. And so I put down, at the time, I poured the bottle of vodka in the sink that I was drinking, because that was my God at the time. And I picked up a pen, and I started writing. And I wrote 24 chapters in 3 months.
Are you kidding me?
No.
24 chapters in 3 months?
Yes.
I think I shared with you earlier, I've been writing on a book for 20 years. So it's taken me 20 years. And Robin, I still have not completed. I don't even think I'm at chapter 5. I just write a little and then go away and write a little. So that's ordained by God. When you know that, 3 chapters and 24 chapters in 3 months is ordained. So the book is about your life.
Yes.
And it sounds to me like the book is going to be something that's going to help other people. I cannot imagine. I met a lady I guess maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little longer, and she had been in prison for 19 years. And what happened is that I think she murdered the baby's father or her boyfriend. I think it was her boyfriend. I don't think she had any children, but she murdered her boyfriend. And it was an accident. It wasn't an accident, it was self-defense. She was protecting herself. And so anyway, she got out of prison, and she now is very instrumental in legislation changing for domestic violence. And I did some things with her Coalition of Justice, and just did some things with her as she made some laws come into effect. She actually brought some meaningful laws into effect because of her stay and because of just the way domestic violence goes. So I'm just know that that's probably going to be the same thing for you with your book, that it will not only change some lives. I mean, is this something where you could enter into legislation and make some changes, or are we talking about just the prison stay, or are we talking about life period?
Life.
Oh wow. Oh, I know it's going to be life changing. Oh, I'm excited already. I can't wait to see the book. I cannot wait to read the book. I cannot wait. Mirror of Reality.
Yes.
Now, is this book
Bearing
geared,
my soul.
huh?
I'm bearing my soul. I finally found out after 52 years who I was. And now I can look in a mirror and I'm not ashamed.
Can you imagine, Robin, that there are still people still today that still don't know who they are? I mean, still kind of struggling with challenges of trying to find out how, who and where and how they fit in society, how they even fit, you know, in this life, in this thing we call life.
That's right. I mean, and when you grow up and you are dealt challenges and your identity is taken from you, and you hide and you fake and you put paint on a face to please other people. But when you go home and you by yourself and your hair is all over your head and you're talking to God, or you're on your knees, or you're crying, or whatever, you know, you're trying to find out, who am I really? Because I put on that fake face and that smile, and I was whoever anybody wanted me to be. But I didn't know who I was myself.
I think that happens a lot of times with us as women, because we're nurturers by nature, and because we are expected to smile and do all the right things, you know, that people just come to expect us to be strong pillars of society. We know that the men are strong. We know that the men have things that they need, you know, that they do. But as women, we just have a role that, you know, we're supposed to always keep it together.
Right.
And it's unfortunate because we don't always keep it together.
Exactly. And I think if it wasn't for the grace of God and for Him giving me a praying mother and a hard-working father who had morals and principles, I think I probably would be dead by now.
Now, Robin, you said your father had passed. Your mother's still alive?
Yes, my mother is still alive. My father passed December 2014.
Wow. Wow.
I'm sorry, 2013. It's been a year in December, so yes.
Okay.
Married 53 years. I've always wanted that life. You know, I grew up thinking I was going to find a man like my father. And I got so many disappointments that it led me to the wrong people. I was out there searching and searching and searching, and I never could find anyone that treated me with any type of respect or any type of love. And I just wanted what my father gave my mother. And because I didn't get it, I put myself in destructive, toxic relationships that nearly killed me.
Hold that thought. We're going to go to a station break. And we're going to come back. We're going to talk to Robin Barnes about her book, Mirror of Reality. Just go get your popcorn, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, come back, and we'll see you then.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple, just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Hi, I'm Rick the Critic, and if you're just joining us, my guest today is author Robin Barnes with the popular book, Mirror of Reality. Welcome again, Robin.
Thank you very much for having me.
I am excited for you to be able to talk to you. It's just, I mean, it's with everything that's going on, it is just to hear someone talking about things that have some purpose and can also help other people. It's just, I mean, it's just so much stupid stuff going on. There's a lot of things that are going on in the world that are real, but I mean, here I'm hearing you know, something where there were some changes made and in your life and possibly others' lives. So I'm just excited to have you on. Now, before we took our station break, you were talking about a marriage, and that is something how as little girls we, you know, we want to have that fairy tale wedding. We want to have that husband of 50 plus, 40 plus years. We saw that a lot with our parents and grandparents and great grandparents, but we don't see that type of commitment anymore. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that it has a lot to do with the way that the men are raised. Most of them not being raised with fathers, not knowing how to treat a woman. Back then, the men in the 60s or were born in the 50s, they were raised with a different mentality. And the men that are coming up today, they don't know that you don't have a father figure or somebody to mentor you or show you how to treat a woman. You just treat them the way you know how.
Yeah. Well, we need more mentors, that's for sure. And I think another part of it, I know that when I look in the schools, we don't see very many male teachers anymore. I've seen more female teachers. And I think that has a lot to do with our children, especially with our boys, because they need that. There's a certain time. I have a grandson that's 15, and I have another grandson that's 2. But my 15-year-old grandson, I can remember when he was 2, and now his whole attitude has changed. I mean, he's very quiet, and you know, he used to be very talkative, and when I'm talking to him, it's almost like you know, he hears me, but you know, you can tell there's something missing. I can see when he has a conversation with his dad, I can see the difference in their conversation as when he's talking to me. So I'm just assuming that same thing spills over when he goes to school and he's dealing with female you know, teachers.
Right. I agree. I think that when there's a male role model in the home, because my father was there for 53 years of my life, and I have one brother, and he was trying so hard to please my father. He did everything he could. I mean, because it helped him to be a good man and a good husband. You know, and I looked at how he was and how he turned out, and I wanted that same type of man for myself. And unfortunately, I didn't allow God to find that man, that husband for me. I wouldn't pick them myself, and I didn't do a great job. And so I have 2 failed marriages under my belt. I was abused most of the time, beaten nearly to death. So I've learned not to look for anything. I just pray and ask God to, whatever is His will, to just allow it to happen in my life.
Yeah, well, you know what? Because when we do it ourselves, we never do the right thing. We always pick who we love and who, you know what I'm saying, whatever our persona or whatever our critique is of a male. Instead of, I promised myself, I said, if I were ever going to get married again, I've got a bunch of girlfriends and a bunch of guy friends. And by the time that person went through all of those people, if he could withstand all of the criticism and all the questions and probing that my girlfriends and guy friends would give, then I thought, you know, he would he would be deserving of me, because I really, I, like you, I just really was not a very good, I didn't have very good skills, I would say, in picking the proper mate. I think that if I would have just, instead of going on my own instinct, had I just said, God, is this the one? And just kind of waited and stuff instead of just kind of jumping in, I think that I would have made a better decision.
Right.
So
well,
it does happen.
Like I love too hard. My husband told me, I asked him why did he cheat on me and why did he abuse me, and he told me, because you love me too much. He said, you love me more than you love yourself. And I had to think about that, and I said, when did loving someone become a problem? Well, it does when you lose yourself, your self-respect, your self-esteem, and you give it all to a man.
Yeah.
I'd given him my power, and he didn't respect me. So I learned that nobody's more important than you. You have to love yourself first before you can love anybody else.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to make yourself a priority. You
Exactly.
must make yourself a priority. And I think we so often, if we have children and others and immediate family, we often have so much that we give out that we're accustomed to giving it. It's not that that we don't love ourselves. I think we're accustomed to giving that love out to so many people, and because of that, we just kind of lose ourselves in it. But we find great pleasure in being able to make other people happy.
Right.
That's what we do as women. And I don't know if it's an African American thing or not, but I know that we do find great pleasure in being able to nurture and to be able to help. I mean, that's just a part of us. That's something that we do. And I think we oftentimes get lost in that. I was looking at Dr. Umar Johnson on YouTube last week sometime, and he said something that was really interesting. He said that that we as women, we just kind of we get angry, and what he said is that men cheat. He said not all men, but he said maybe we're talking like 80%. And he said we as women, we just get upset and angry and da 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 da. But wait a minute, I'm going to hold my thought because we're about to go to another station break. But I want you to stay on the couch, on the chair, wherever you are. You don't want to miss Robin Barnes and Mirror of Reality. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Thank you for coming back. I'm Rick the Critic, as you well know. Listen, my guest today, if you're just coming on, is author Robin Barnes. She is the author of Mirror of Reality. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you very much, Rick.
Again. But listen, now tell me something quick. I wanted to know, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it in the last couple of segments, but I wanted to know what inspired you to, I mean, I know that you said that you were in a dark place, and it came to you. What inspired you to pick it up again? To pick your pen up again?
What inspired me was I was at rock bottom again. I did hit rock bottom several times in my life, but I was at a point where I'd lost my job. I didn't have anywhere to live. I had just given up. I had started drinking, and that was I lost myself. And my daughter called me out of the blue, and she said, "Mom, God told me to tell you to get on your knees and pray." And I got on my knees, and God just spoke to me like I'm talking to you. And he just told me, before I knew it, I was in tears, and I was speaking in tongues, and I was jumping up and down, and I was screaming. And I went in the kitchen, and I looked under the counter, and I got the bottle of vodka, and I poured it down the sink. And I said, "Lord, help me." I said, "You got to help me." And it's like he took my hand, and he wrote the words for me. Because I had to figure out why I kept failing in life at everything. Everything I tried to accomplish good, I failed at. But anything I did bad, I succeeded. And I wanted God to show me who I was, because I didn't know what my purpose in life was. I thought I was just meant to suffer.
I've heard that expression. I've heard that before, and not long ago, just recently, someone said that, suffering. But in our suffering, it's always a revelation in our suffering. I think those trials and those tests are for us to have testimonies. So Robin, after hitting rock bottom, and then you decided, then God just started to write it out. And so in this 3-month period, I mean, was it just straight writing? I mean, morning, noon, and night, or did you break it up? I mean, and I'm asking this question too for those of us that, you know, have inspired, because I think everyone has a book in them. I really do. But I'm saying to you that was this just a straight 3 months, you know, just eat, sleep, write the book, or was it a break in it, or what happened, or did things happen in the book that happened within that 3-month period that you included it also into the book?
Well, what happened is I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and once the idea came to me, I went into one of my manic moments, and I just wrote day and night for 3 months. I didn't have a job. I didn't have anywhere to go. All I did was write, morning, noon, and night. Sometimes I wouldn't even go to sleep for days because it was so, and then when I did go to sleep, I would wake up in the middle of the night and run to my computer and type something that I felt that was coming from God, or something that I needed to add to my story. And I did this consistently for 3 months straight.
Wow. So you just kind of ate and just eat, sleep the book. So did you know you were finished, Robin? I mean, did you know after the 24 chapters that was it? I mean, did you know that was it?
At the 24th chapter, I knew that was it because the 24th chapter is titled, Nothing is Too Hard for God. And that's the chapter where I explained that God brought me through all these tests so I could have a testimony to share with somebody that's out there who went through the same things that I have.
Wow. It is so inspiring and so, I mean, it cannot be easy, but the part that I'm just in awe about is you said 25 to life, and then you said 4 years.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we know as Christians, I am a Christian, and I know that when we get those type of sentences, I know with my youngest daughter, she was diagnosed as a diabetic when she was 10, and at the time I didn't realize that I could have there was some other things I could have done. So I just kind of listened to the doctor and I just kind of went on. And then shortly after that, maybe 6 months later, I remember the Lord coming to me and saying, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And I mean, just turn the whole thing around. And she is still a diabetic because when she got out of my house, she was an adult to do what she wanted to do. But the whole time that she was in my care, I just remember, I'm saying, how, they would tell her that she would not live to be 20 years old. I mean, how do you give that kind of sentence? And I'm saying that because there was a person there that gave you a sentence and said, this is, blah, blah, blah. And in all points of natural, it would be, well, that's the sentence, that's it, that's all. But God said, not so. She needs this time to do what I need her to do to get this information and get this word out to my people.
Amen. That's exactly what happened. I went to my mother and I was telling her, I said, Mama, they said I'm looking at 25 to life. And my mother said, baby, we're going to pray. And so a few days went by and I called her from prison and she said, I was in jail at the time. She said, God told me, Robin, you got to pay for what you've done, but he's not going to let him give you life. And I said, okay, Mama. And I've always believed and trusted my mother, and because her faith is so strong, it gave me strength. And when I went to that court, everyone that was against me, the prosecutors, the judge, everybody found favor with me. God gave me favor. And them 17 counts of conspiracy got dropped down to 3.
Yeah,
see, that was nothing but the grace of God.
That's the power of praying mothers. Exactly. when everyone else says no and they give up on you, your mother and your parents are the ones that say, you know what, not so. And for her, and I'm pretty sure that not just her praying, I'm sure she enlisted the help of other prayer warriors, and I can imagine them and just see them now just opening up heaven, you know, bombarding heaven with no, you know what I'm saying, this is not, and we've seen this many times. We've seen this thing happen many times where someone will say, this is it, and we had a mother a couple of years ago that was talking about her son, and he was going away for all these years, and I just remember the saints coming together, Robin, and saying, we about to pray about that. And even with that prayer, as they started to pray, I mean, this thing went from life to him walking out the door. I mean, just actually coming home. So we do know the power of prayer, and we do know that. So the book is dedicated to your mother and father.
Yes.
Yeah, that was without saying. That's without me even seeing the book. I know that because they sound like very strong influences in your life.
There are no words to describe the type of parents that I have, and I think that if it wasn't for my praying mother and my hardworking father, I think that I would have taken a whole different road, because I saw my friends growing up in my neighborhood in South Central Los Angeles, growing up without fathers, and how they ended up. And my parents kept us together. They tried to keep us in good schools. They tried to get us an education. My father instilled that in us early, but I decided to take the other road. My sisters and I, we all, you know, we respected our father and our mothers, but we still did what we wanted to do because we thought we knew what we wanted. Well, at least I did. I can't speak for them. And my road was rocky because I chose to climb that mountain instead of take that even path.
Okay.
So I had to go through what I had to go through because it was a purpose for it.
Well, listen, Robin, I hope that we can have you come back again and talk again. We're going to see you at the book club, but Rick the Critic is signing off right now. We have to go, but I sure enjoyed talking to you, and I hope that we will be able to have you come into the studio and we will talk again. We can?
Oh, yes. I would love to come in, Rick, and I really appreciate you interviewing me today, and I just want to let you know that you are a blessing to many.
Thank you, and you've been a blessing to me. Thank you so much. Listen, you guys take, you heard about Mirror of Reality. The author is Robin Barnes. You've got to get the book. Thank you for choosing and for looking at Rick the Critic and allowing me to come into your room tonight. Thank you so much, and good night.